Hello and welcome back to Jacob's Toys 5 minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe and all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. In this video we are continuing to look at the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 figures by Marvel Legends and Hasbro, and in this video we are going to take a look at Spider-Gwen. Now this is a good one. This is one that a lot of people have been looking forward to, and she looks good in the box. Not a huge amount of accessories, but we have got an alternate head, so you can have her masked or unmasked, which I think was a must-have because she was a character that featured very heavily in the first film and is obviously going to be featured heavily in this film. Now what's interesting is in the comic books there was a brief time where Miles and Gwen had a relationship, so I do wonder whether they're going to explore that in these films or whether they're just going to leave them as friends. But let's get her out of the box and actually look at her as an action figure. Now this whole wave is very light on accessories, but this is one that comes with maybe one more accessory than others. She comes with two alternate hands and she also comes with the masked head. Now the masked head is stuck in the hood so you can't take it out, but we'll get to that in a second. As far as the actual figure goes, on initial inspection she's really quite nice looking. We had her before as part of the original Spider-Verse figures, but we didn't have a headpiece with hair as long as this. Her hair was much shorter and it was built on the Spider-Gwen that we've had previously. So this one is much more stylized in the kind of the design of the film. Now the alternate hands are open palm hands, which is interesting, but the actual wrists are really tiny, so you have got to be really careful when you're pulling those out not to snap the peg. But yeah, open palm hands, so that's an interesting choice. So we've got one closed fist, one web spinning hand, or a thwip hand as we like to call them, and two open palm hands. She's got her trainers there, which is cool. It's, you know, that's expected for the character. Now there's a little bit of paint rub on the side there, but the plastic has got a nice kind of shiny finish to it. Let's just pop this head off. The hood piece comes off as well, and then you can just pop this head on and you've got her all suited up. Now she is much thinner and kind of more delicate feeling than some of the other figures in this wave, so do be careful when you're kind of bending those knees for articulation and stuff. She's got double jointed elbows, which is always a bonus on these newer figures, because once upon a time you only got single jointed elbows on the female figures, so it is nice to have a double jointed elbow on a female Gwen. Spider-Gwen. Now Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, she's got lots of different names, but the box does say Spider-Gwen, so that again is interesting. See whether that's what she goes by in the film. She's still got that shaved part of her head, but this time her hair is a lot longer with the pink at the bottom. I'm really loving the mask. It's definitely a much more movie stylized version of Spider-Gwen, whereas before, as I said, it was kind of built on the older Spider-Gwen body, so it was a movie Spider-Gwen. The paintwork looked like her costume, but it didn't. The proportions are a little bit off. Whereas this time the proportions are definitely much more sort of on point as to how she looks in those movies. I love the fact that she is such a predominant part of these films. It's really cool to have Spider-Gwen kind of front and center for a movie adaptation. The articulation is pretty nice. You can kind of move her around and get her into some sort of spider-esque poses, and I really like the open palm hands because it kind of gives the illusion of balance. So I'll probably do some photographs and stuff and get her kind of where she's doing these kind of poses. But yeah, I mean, she's a cool figure, and if you don't have a Spider-Gwen or a Ghost Spider in your collection already, you could definitely pick this version up, put this masked head on, and she would fit in with your collection nicely. The only difference is obviously she's got the trainers on, and they're the same colour as the ones in the movie and stuff, but I think you could add her to your shelf. See, the balance there wasn't very good, but you could add her to your shelf and quite easily have a Spider-Gwen in your collection. Now in the comic books she has more of like a ballet slipper kind of thing as opposed to the trainers, but her feet are so small in this figure it's not a huge thing and it doesn't pull too much attention, so she would work. I think she would work. For me, I'm going to keep all of the Across the Spider-Verse into the Spider-Verse figures together and kind of have a Miles Morales into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse kind of set up in one of my cabinets, so she will fit in there. But would she fit in with your other Spider-Man figures? I personally think so. Definitely worth picking up. And the head sculpt, the unmasked head sculpt, is really detailed and done in a really nice way, so it's nice to have those options. Now do go and check out my channel because I've done a full 5-minute review on each and every one of the figures out of this wave. There isn't a Build-A-Figure part to these figures, but there is a deluxe Cyborg Spider-Woman as well. And guess what? I've taken a look at her as well. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.